Hello everyone, it's me, Hyperwarskun here, and welcome to FormulaPlayStation. I am here, and I'm your host of this first stream. Well, the first stream on this channel officially. So, I'll be your new commentator from now on. We're joining at round number 4 here at Baku. If you haven't seen me personally yet, I would go and link my... Well, I haven't actually linked my channel in the description, but... You should go look up my YouTube channel. Again, it's just Hyperwarskun. Like, it's my PSN. Look for it. Go find it. And subscribe to me if you haven't done so already. Now, I'm just going to look for the stream on the FormulaPlayStation YouTube channel there. It didn't come up in my own sub box. And I'm just going to link this into the chat so that everyone can come and watch the stream. Obviously, we're here for the first official race that's being commentated. I will hopefully be your commentator for now until, I don't know, hopefully, the end of FormulaPlayStation. I'd like to say I'm a commentator who likes to be in one place. So, yeah. I'll be here every single Tuesday, hopefully, at 8 PM. Or just a bit before, depending what time invites are out. But anyway, enough of me dawdling. Like I said, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Hyperwarskun. And other than that, that's enough self-promotion. I will get into the current standings. So, before I do that, I will just say we do have 16 competitors here tonight. Well, 15 competitors here tonight, which is twice a good turnaround for a league, and I have to really respect that. I've gone into leagues and commentated where there's 8 people. I've commentated lobbies of about 18 before, but I have to say 15 is very respectable, so just want to say a big well done to Trench, who's the owner, who has done an amazing job of building this league up for 2019. Now, I'm going to call this Season 1, so for next season, if I'm still here, I'll be calling those streams Season 2, but from what I've heard, the league's been going on before in F1 2017, so... Just to get the confusion out of the way, I will be saying Season 1, and this will be the first official season, like it says on the website, which is also FormulaPlayStation. So, go look that up on Google. Anyway, championship standings. In first is Luke Vettel YouTube with 50 points. In second, 2 points behind, is F1 Buttons Back with 48 points. In third is Trench, obviously the leader of the league. Yeah, for some reason Trench has a different username on here, but he's got 45 points. In fourth is High Five with 28 points. In fifth is Lightning Poker with 24 points. In sixth is F1 Mansel's Back with 22 points. His brother is F1 Buttons is Back, if you didn't know that. In seventh is Padders with 20 points. In eighth is Brown, 12 with 19 points. In ninth is Gulab Seco with 15 points. In 10th and 11th is Reet Sad Diablo and AMVR 951, both with 8 points. In 12th is D Cuffs with 6 points. 13th is Dark Knights with 4 points. 14th is Man Like Stewley with 2 points. 15th is Quistguard with 1 point. And 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th all have 0 points, being Killer Clown, Hulkenberg, Jupiter X and It's Abalife. Oh, Aboli Alfie. Sorry, my apologies if I get some of your names wrong. Obviously, I do expect most of the viewers to be from FormulaPlayStation. And to Constructors' Championships, Mercedes are currently leading on 70 points, as they should be. In second is Renault with 48 points. Third is Alfa Romeo with 47 points. Fourth is Red Bull with 30 points. Fifth is McLaren with 28 points. Sixth is Haas with 24 points. In seventh is Racing Point with 23 points. In 8th is Ferrari with 19 points. That seems very accurate for Ferrari nowadays. In 9th is Williams with 7 points. And in 10th is Toro Rosso with 4 points, because they let Gasly in for the whole season. Now, without further ado, let's get on with the race. And do feel free to talk to me this stream through the stream chat. I will happily be there to talk to everyone else. So, you know, if you want to talk or just want to talk about how your race is doing if you're a racer. If you're a spectator, then speak out how much you're enjoying it and what you want me to do for the commentary, because I'm always up to personal improvement and I like to see what other people have to say. Oh, as there's a crash by AMVR 951. Don't think that should affect his wing too much. And actually, I think that's quite a bit of the right side off there. As he goes into the wall again, which is looking to me a bit to be like lag, but the Williams behind him is not enjoying being stuck there, nor is the Alfa Romeo. So what we'll do actually is we'll go and watch with the Williams behind me, which is Twistyard, who currently only has the 1 point. Well, obviously he'll be wanting to get some more points, as there's been crashes everywhere. But I think Twistyard might be staying out on his lap to start for a brand new flying lap. I do just want to say, if you can hear it, it's not faint, but quite a loud noise that is coming from my PlayStation. I do apologise. I've been trying to sort it out for months and months now, but unfortunately it is just too loud, and unfortunately I can't get it to stop. So I've moved my PlayStation as far away from me as possible, and I've also moved further away from it to today. If you watch my WRL stream, which is another league on Mondays, you'd have known how loud it was yesterday. But anyway, we'll keep on with Twistyard here, keeping it in a hot lap, which around Baku isn't the greatest thing to do. You'd probably want to keep it in, well, between rich, medium and overtake. You want to use the rich mix, overtake actually, through the first DRS section in sector 1. But then after that use rich until you get up to here, where you just put it into medium, just for these slow few corners. Back up to rich around about here, which is where you want to be going pretty quite fast, but have a chance to break off if you need to. And then again, you toggle it back down to medium here, just to get yourself just get yourself calm and composed, where you'd hit it up into overtake right about now, ready for the final few corners and the big long back straight. But as you can see, with most drivers, they actually use up all their ERS very, very quickly, as we can see here, as his ERS will be gone, now, so there's none left to use, and that will be a 146.9 for Twistyard, and F1 button is back, beats that by a whole 6.9 seconds. And Reet Sadiablo gets a 140.086, 2 thousandths off the man in front. Buttons is back. Now, a lot of people are actually setting lap times now. The worst so far being Golub Sekro for 153 dead on. But everyone looks to be going on to the softs for their lap, except for Lightning Poker. So it either means everyone's doing the same strat, or it means, as Trench sets the fastest lap of the race, or it means that everyone's either got the same strat, or they're all expecting rain at the start of the race, which could happen. Lightning Poker sets his lap time on the mediums, putting him in at 7th place, or 142.5. Unfortunately, a decal's crashed out, so that means he will undoubtedly be last of it coming through. Well, last on the grid, unless High Five also crashes out. So Trench currently leads with a really good gap of 4 tenths. Then second, third and fourth are very, very tight with each other. All three of them within, less than half a tenth of each other. Then fifth place being Brown, doing very well to be in the low 141s. A second and a tenth off the man in front. F1 Mansell is back, 6 tenths behind him, with Lightning Poker around about the same gap as well. Twistyard with a 146 would be next in 8th. Golub Sekro rounds off. Everyone is taking a lap so far. and puts himself in 9th. As the man we were watching has decided to go back into the pits. So we're actually going to go watch Lightning Poker. So I'm assuming if he's holding up ERS, he has plans to go onto a lap now. I mean, I'm assuming that, but he hasn't put it on the straight. So I'm guessing he's off into the pit lane. Yes, he is. Again, Baku being one of the hardest pit lanes in the F1 game, just due to the few the little twists and turns, making it kind of hard for drivers to get around. But if you can do it, it shows that you are skilled and you don't just zoom into pit lanes. Golov Sekro improves his lap time and now sets a 141 dead on, meaning he is 1 second behind, well, Luke Vettel YouTube. Currently the Force Indias being 3rd and 5th is probably the best team effort so far. I mean, unfortunately for the Williams, one of them is already out, being Decus, and the other one being Quistgard is in 9th place, so not the best. Give me a sec, guys. I'll be back in a minute. My apologies about that tiny distraction. That is kind of just a normal occurrence for me. Sometimes I get called by my sister and have to say goodnight to her, so I have, it's a thing I have to do. So my apologies on that. Anyway, back onto this. We're with Padders coming through the second sector here. Time isn't looking too bad for him. I'm expecting maybe a 5th place finish for him, maybe 6th in this 20 session. And I've looked at the results from all the other races, but that really can't tell you people's pace. It just shows you a rough outline of where they can or can't be. Strategy is a very important thing. Incidents are also something not to be pushed away either. So, but Padders is going to come through and set a 140.9, putting him in 5th place. Like I said, his lap time was looking good, and he's just set a very good lap time. As a man like Stussy comes through with a 144.6. I'm wondering what AMV will do for his brand new lap time. Does it look like a bit of an early downshift there into the corner? Went a bit too close to the curb as he's ran out of ERS. Almost. I mean, he's actually kind of done well with saving it this lap, but with 0% left, he's got none to use for the straight, which has probably lost him a few seconds. But he's at set 143.1, putting him currently in 10th place. As I was on Jupitex, so I don't know why I'm not now. But there we go, we're now on Jupitex. The last man, apart from High Five, does not to set a lap currently. And I believe some people are trying to improve their lap times as well. But everyone just seems to be on the track so far. As F1 Buttons is back. Buttons back. Sets a 138. Is that one? No, 139. Sorry, 0.252. Very hard to see from that purple there. Which puts him on pole position. As a yellow flag that's constantly in Sector 2 there. Don't know what that's for. As Jupitex will be coming home to set a 142.8. Ooh, which puts him just in 10th position in front of AMVR. Also to the racers, do excuse me if I give you some nicknames. That's just me. I do that all the time. So if I really can't bother to say your name, or I struggle to do so, you will get some weird nickname. So enjoy that one. Oh, there's high five. Takes that corner a bit wrong there. Unfortunately getting a bit of a spin, but for him at least he's getting a good exit. Well, I used to saving up a lot of ERS and he's actually using it well as well. I actually think this could be the fastest lap of the race so far. It's a 139, nope, it's a 139.9, putting him in third position. Without that little spin on the corner, I think he could have been first. I really do. So that was a very good lap time. Oh no, he already set a lap, but never mind. Has anyone improved on their times? Oh yes, Twistguard has actually improved his time, and it's now set at 1:43.7, which is a very good time for him. So that will put him in 13th place. So we're looking at, to get into the top 10, a 1:41.1 or less. Now, I don't think anyone really saw, but Dark Knight did join the session, so it looks like we'll have a 16th racer in today's race, which will be very interesting. Unfortunately, it's a bit late, but, you know. Starting 16th at Baku is probably better than starting 12th, 13th, so, you know. As most people come into the pits with about 5 minutes left to go. Lightning Poker probably going to come into the pits too. F1 Mansel's back. It's actually been quite sensible with his ERS here, only using medium through most of these sectors. Oh, and nope, he's slowed down there, as our high five's going quite slow around the track too. Don't think Golub's on a lap either. High five's, well, from what it looks like, his high five's run out of fuel, or he's just, I think he's burning fuel actually. And Trench has ended up basically in a trench. He probably missed the exit to that one, as F1 Mansel's back retires. So I believe Trench is now most likely going to go into the pits, just because, you know, everyone else is. He actually set a 1:39.3. Wow, F1 Buttons is back, and Trench will probably be the two that will be fighting for the lead today. This could be very, very interesting. I'm intrigued to see what actually happens. Well, we'll go watch Man Like Stooty currently, as he is the man in last place of the remaining drivers. He needs about 9/10 to beat Quistyard and improve my position. However, the question is, can he do that? Obviously, to get into the top 10, you do need to be not only on the best tyre that you have available to you, but you also have to be one of the fastest drivers out there. And currently, Man Like Stooty, oh, Stooley, Man Like Stooley, my apologies, is 3 seconds and a half off the pace, so it's not looking good. However, I do believe this lap will be a good lap for him, and he's not gone wide there either. If he can just make this lap count, he could be seeing himself up on his time and quite a bit higher on this leaderboard. However, he's about to run out of ERS halfway down the straight, and it will be a 1:42, 1.3 actually, 0.4, which does beat Quistyard by 3/10. However, it's not enough to move up to 12th, or even any higher than that. As he's lost a tyre and he is now out of the race. This is probably ruining most people's laps, in all fact. as I was about to say his name and I just realised I can't say it. AMVR sets a better lap time, goes a position higher, gains about a second, but still nobody able to really beat Brown here. Nobody actually able to get into that top 10. Also have to say how close Lightning Poker and Padda's lap times are. I mean, wow. Just wow. That is very, very close. I want to see if Brown's can improve his lap though. It's currently looking good so far. He's not run out of ERS. Oh, there. Now he has. He needs to be at 141.1, and he's got a 140.1, which now puts the top 10, well, place down even further. So that Lightning Poker is now the man to beat with a 140.907. This should also steer Paddas as well. And you really don't want to be one of the last men out on track. Or in the top 10. You want to be in that top 10, but considering everyone's on the softs, it's safe for me to assume that it's going to rain in the race. I mean, it's Baku, you kind of get rain most of the time. It's just Cody's, okay? Don't even... yeah. It doesn't matter, it's just Cody's. But in the top 3 currently, the only 3 people to set better than a 140, as F1 Button is back, improves his timing to 139.1. Trench and Reitz both can't improve their lap time, neither can Luke Vessel. High 5 gets into that top 3, which is very good for him. Lightning Poker is about to improve his lap time as well, and he will not get in to the 1 minute 30s, but he does reach the 1 minute 40.6 mark. VSing F1 Mansel's back. As I'll move on to Paddas here. Can anyone else, like Golob Sekro, Sreko, or Brown, get into that very nice 139's part? As a Quistiard looks to be on a lap here, but could be holding up Paddas. Paddas will be gaining some slipstream off Quistiard though, so this could be very good for him. As we can see, Paddas just trying to keep in the slipstream as much as he can. His ERS may go, but the slipstream will actually help him quite a fair bit. With DRS too, less drag, giving him the chance to technically overtake, but it also puts him at a 140.4 in 8th position. Quistiard also moves up to 12th for 142.4. And the last man to set a lap will be Golob. Except, oh, and F1 Buttons is back, but those two both seem to not be setting times. Yeah, F1 Buttons is back. He's looking like he just wanted to finish his lap. Even though it's going to be even worse than the 1 minute, well, the 2 minute mark. As Buttons is back, goes into the pits, and Golob does not improve enough to make his way into the top few places. And actually, AMV is still on a lap, but not going quick. So yeah. Do just want to see what Golob's lap times were. So you've got a 2:24. Ooh, is not the best lap time in the world, but it's a lap nonetheless. As AMV seems to be going into the pit lane as well. Speaking of going into the pit lane, I meant figuratively, not literally going into the pit wall. And that, I guess, will wrap up our qualifying. So here is our qualifying rundown then. Everyone setting times on the softs, so we should be expecting rain. But F1 Buttons is back, followed by Trench, Reet, San Diablo, High 5, 86, Luke, Vettel, God of Sekro, and Brown all making it within a second of each other. Padders, Lightning Poker, and F1 Mansler's back, all being in the top 10. AMV, Christian, Jupiter X, Man Like Stooley, and D-Cuss round up the rest of the field. With a Dark Knight also joining in to be our 16th man for the race. I'm actually hoping there might... Oh! I missed that. Someone had a 3-second time penalty. Give me a second. Who was it? I believe, if my memory doesn't serve me right, yes, that was the Spanish man of an AMS with a 3-place grid penalty. That is not a good start for him. AMVR, yeah, I know it's AMVR, but yeah, that's just too long to say. Like, even though it's 4 letters, it's too long to say. AMVR. Like, come on. Make your name shorter. Please. And to be fair, it could be worse. You could have some weird names. Like, I've commentated over people who just have random letters in the middle of nowhere. As this is a formation lap, so I've actually got one of these this time. So, no, everyone just seemed to want to start on the softs. Which really confuses me. But everyone below that seems to be on the mediums. Which I mean makes sense, but okay. Wasn't expecting that one throughout the whole race. Well, throughout the whole quali. And people normally go for a different strat, but I guess not. And I did commentate Baku yesterday, in fact, for WRL. And only one person started on the softs. But he did make the softs the hard work. So if these guys can take these softs around about 6 laps, then they can push the hard 20 laps. But that's assuming you don't break your wing. So either these guys going soft to hards, or they're going soft medium hards. No, soft medium is what I meant, sorry. So AMVR left. Dark Knight seems to have been in trouble going around the castle section. He's got a default setup on during the race for this race, so he won't be having the best of times, but you know, default setups are a lot more powerful this game. Yeah, they're still not as good as custom setups, so a Dark Knight may have some trouble here during this race. As you see our guys lining up for the start of the grid for their first lap. Well, for their actual start, sorry. Nerves are kicking in for most people. It's a street circuit. You can easily crash. And everyone's going for the win. The question is, who's going to get it? We'll find out in the race. They're just waiting for Dark Knight to get on the back of the field, so we can get these 5 red lights underway. Here we go. 5 red lights for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And away we go. Slowly, but with a bad camera angle that I can't really see. It seems to be 3 wide going into the first corner. San Diablo goes very, very wide. And that High 5 had a crash. Lots of people have actually crashed in this first corner there. High 5 was the main man to spin. Quistard makes a massive dive bomb which wrecks most of his car. Dekos ends up spun from that first corner. And, well, Baku first corner calamity is not something that you should not expect. As it seems like most of the field has now got a small gap to one another. Man like Stutie's overtaken Dark Knight, I wonder. But Dark Knight seems to be quite far back actually, over a second. The gaps do seem to have spread out very, very quickly. I don't know if it's the drivers or if they're just, you know, not really quick enough to overtake each other, but wow. Quistard's been overtaken by everyone. And it seems like Jupiter X, the man who qualified quite near the back, has made a brilliant start on his mediums and has ended up in 7th. And he just avoided all the accidents. Even Dekos has overtaken Quistard there. He must have had a big, big crash. Here we go, riding on board with San Diablo. San Diablo trying to go one side of the planet, and oh my gosh, that's Luke Vettel in the wall there. He's gone to the left of the planet. Quistard's retired. F1 Buttons is back. Is at the fastest lap, and there looks like to be a 2-3-man overtake. And Lightning Poker gets past them both. San Diablo dives it up the inside of one of the Haas. And even now Padders has got his own little charge. High fives in the pits. And wow, that was some good class overtaking there. High fives onto the mediums. Luke Vettel, oh no, high fives onto the hards actually. Whilst Luke Vettel and Dark Knight both head onto the mediums themselves. We've got quite a lot of penalties in this race too. As Brown seems to have done a Ricardo there. And ended up in the wall. But the first lap has been full of excitement so far. The two Haas drivers in 6th and 7th. Almost doing as good as the two Force Indias up in 4th. Well, ooh! Saying about how good they were doing. Lightning Poker ends up in the wall. China missing its braking zone there. Meanwhile, at the front, Trench is still closing in on their F1 Buttons back. And these two could be having a fight for the whole race. However, Padders seems to be closing in on Jupiter X. Oh, and Jupiter X has put him in the wall. Padders has made it past. Lightning Poker also had to slow down. Browns is past too. And that is not a good sign for the Haas driver there. From my point of view, he really just put him into the wall. But obviously, everyone can say different. As F1 Buttons is back, seems to have got the fastest lap. But Trench is still very, very close to him. So, with DRS enabled, you have to think that Trench really is the man to make the overtake and get this lead. As Paddis is very close behind Lightning Poker. Jupiter X has gone into the pits. Not sure what tyres he's going to put on though. If I asked him, I'd put on another set of mediums, which he has done. So I think Browns has also made a mistake in Sector 1. I'll have a look at that. He's been overtaken by almost everyone there. And yep, he ended up in the wall at turn 2. Meanwhile, back at the front, Trench is still on the back of Buttons' back. You know, just trying to keep close to the rear wing of him. Something very nice to see. Just two drivers calmly taking their time around this track. You know, very, very close but fighting each other nonetheless. The DRS should come in handy for Trench though. Hence why he's saving up so much ERS as well. As Decast has retired, which puts 2 out of this race already. We've only got 14 left. 3 laps, 2 retirements. Not something you want to see. As here comes the DRS for Trench. He's 5 tenths behind. Those 5 tenths will be gone soon enough. We can see Buttons is back there in the lead. by some distance, but he's gained up 3 attempts in just that straight alone, let alone this second straight with DRS. Buttons is back, will be having to fight for his life against the Alpha. But actually, I don't think the Alpha's close enough to make that overtake. And both F1 Mansell and Padders have gone into the pits. They must have made contact with something or someone during that lap. So yellow flag in sector 2. I believe that's someone. I really don't know. There's just overtaking everywhere at this point. Yeah, I don't want to miss out on the action. However, it just seems that there's action everywhere. As Browns has ended up missing turn 2 yet again. So that's a second lap in a row he's done that. As Padders almost steers himself into a wall. Well done, Padders. You are literally the boss ass of this team. And his teammates going up the inside of him. Oh, Padders did not want any of that. Well, didn't really have a choice. He had to let him go. That was kind of a scary situation there. Would not want to be in it myself. Looking at the stops for everyone, most people below 7th have made almost everyone below 7th apart from AMVR and Brown have made stops. Obviously those two being the exceptions, but they've made mistakes. Dark Knight in for his second stop. As for position changes though, there have been a lot of those. 7 in fact for a man like Stooley who's come up 7 places. Down 9 though for high 5, and has he actually done it? Brown has just gone straight. It's another corner. And Jupiter's about to crash into him. And wow. That is a collision and a half for most people. High 5 deserves that penalty removed, because he was trying to avoid an accident. I mean, wow. Just wow. Jupitex loses out there. Dark Knight being lapped already. This is not going well for these guys. You know, when I put in the chat earlier, who's ready to crash, I didn't mean it so literally. As AMVR is defending off Luke Vettel here. AMVR's down at the inside and Luke Vettel's just really pushed past him. Brown is back into the pits. A man like Stooley is looking like he's having a rough time on his tyres. Has he come into the pits yet? Oops, I'm on the wrong one there. Yeah, no, he's not come into the pits yet. Luke Vettel hasn't. Stooley, man, is just taking this really badly. He's just been overtaken by Luke Vettel, who's crashed at the castle section. And he's retired as well. He's been forced to retire due to a collision with AMV. And now AMV is stuck there at the castle section. High 5's going to come in and have to go around AMV. Gains a position, but... And it's now in 9th and Luke Vettel is out. His lead so far is over in this championship. As Trench has just come out the pits. Lightning Poker stays out though. F1 Buttons is back. Pit 2 laps ago in fact. So Trench is probably doing that one stop. And sorry, I was just having a swig of water there, but yeah, I think Trench is really doing that one stop. And he's probably going to take those hard tyres all the way to the end. As High 5 makes his way past a man like Stooley and Padders there. Jupiter X has left the session, obviously, due to his crash earlier. Dark Knight still quite a way behind the rest of the pack. But meanwhile, we are looking at the guys at the front Trench is trying to just in a race of his own currently. As Lightning Poker, the man behind, still has to pit as he looks up and goes into the wall. And most of the drivers are spread out. Buttons' back though is closing in on Golub Sreko, sorry. And the gap being just over a second, he will be getting some DRS here. And I think the Lightning Poker will be going into the pits this lap. It looks like it for a second, and it's not, and now he is. He's gone in too deep and too quick. Oh, he's probably lost his wing due to that. F1 Buttons' back has just gone and set the fastest lap of the race. Lightning Poker got caught speed in the pit lane. And F1 Mansell's back goes in very deep there on Golub. Doesn't make the move, but still goes very, very deep. The battle currently between F1 Buttons' back and Golub Sreko is getting very, very close. The Red Bull just trying to close in on the racing point. Golub obviously on the harder tyres, so he's probably going to be going to the end with those, whereas F1 Mansell's back will definitely have to pit again from these mediums, most likely onto softs, as he kind of messes up the castle section there. High Five's back into the pits and back out as well. And it looks like most of the Calamity's down. We've lost 4 cars. She lost both of the Williams as well. It's unfortunate, but it looks like Williams will be picking up no points today. And at this rate as well, I don't think McLaren will be. Unless High Five can keep it out of the wall for the rest of the race. Speaking out going into the wall, as F1 Buttons' back has just set another fastest lap. This man is unstoppable. And F1 Mansell's back has gone into the pits very, very early. Again, must be wing damage. There's not really much else to say apart from it must be wing damage. As I'm watching a man like Stooley here on AMVR, who seems to have not joined back after disconnecting the last time. I was just seeing if I can invite him back. The F1 Mansell is back, has gone onto the hards. Meanwhile, man like Stooley is still trying to get past the Toro Rosso here. He'll definitely get the DRS, but with a little mistake there, trying not to keep it out of the wall the best he can. He's got to do it very, very quickly. DRS is on. He's a bit too far back to make the move this go around, but he possibly could do it at the next DRS sector, or section, which is only a corner away from him now. But he's looking to make the dive instead. Not a conventional place to make an overtake, but if you want to dive in, I mean, it's on an AI, so I don't know what people think about that. My opinion is, if it's an AI, do whatever you want to it. But nope, he seems to be just staying behind it for now. This is not helping him though, as High Five will be gaining on him very, very quickly. And Stooley knows he needs to make these positions quick. He's done the dive, and he looks like he's done the AI dirty too. There's a very good move there. As you can see, High Five just in the background. He gained 2 seconds in just that sector alone. Jupitex has rejoined. He's come back to watch the race himself. Oh, as High Five hits the barrier on the castle section. He's now got AMVR to deal with. He goes up the inside of him. The Red Bull unable to defend from it. And High Five is now up into 9th. And he's just I actually think he's lost part of his wing there, from what I just saw, but possibly. So yellow flag in sector 3, I'm not sure what that's for. Could it be Lightning Poker, who seems to be going into the pits for a brand new set of tyres? I don't know what set he'll be on. It will be a new set, I can say that. As he seems to be going on to the mediums. There we go. He's on to mediums, which won't last him the rest of this race, but they will take him a good proportion of it. Have a high five here. Is the man on a mission. He's got a alpha in his sights. He wants to go and make the overtake on him. As Padders has overtaken F1 Mantle's back. So Padders on the soft tyres doing really well to get past the man on the mediums. Meanwhile, back with high five. He's just closing on a man like Stooley. Stooley's making a few mistakes around here, which is letting high five really catch up to him. And you know, maybe push for an overtake even before the DRS. As Stooley hits the barrier in the castle section, high five could make the overtake around these triple corners here. A man like Stooley's really not budging and letting him get anywhere with this. But high five is just right on the back of him. He's going to make the dive. And nope, he pulls out, which is the most sensible thing he could do there. But the McLaren surely looks like he's going to make this overtake very, very quickly. As here they both go. Stooley looked like he had the worst exit there of the two. High five, just with the DRS and ERS. Stooley did not try and give him any room there whatsoever. And he tried to squeeze him out completely into the barrier. But high five gets past. And the man on the hards in the McLaren will be trying to push on. However, Stooley will have DRS for this next little straight. Unfortunately, it's just not enough to catch high five in front as he's dive bombed him completely, taking off his tyre. And I have to say, that was very, very dirty from Stooley. And honestly, that was quite atrocious driving there. He didn't give any room whatsoever through the first time high five was trying to overtake. Then down the main straight he tried to push him into a wall, and that time he tried to take him out of the race completely. That is appalling driving. As a dark light seems to be on inters. I mean, I'm very concerned for the fact that this guy might actually get some points this race. I'm even more concerned about that atrocious move from Stooley. And I'm trying to tell who Paradise, I'm presuming you're Jupiter X. I'm just presuming. Or Jupiter, sorry. Jupiter, yeah. Just presuming you're Jupiter, and yeah, you did get completely shafted by him. I completely saw that and completely agree. I used completely way too many times. But I don't care. Padders into the pits and back out the pits just behind high five. We're making the overtake on this straight surely, unless high five has anything to say about it. But no, he's keeping himself well. High five very scared of a dive bomb here probably. The Padders looks to be sensible. And he's not going to make it there, but he is going to make a very good move there. And I have to say, that was quite clean, with high five just being easily overtaken by Padders there. He's gone a bit too deep as well. That's quite a good move. So it looks like by lap 12 now, there's a big gap between most racers. Brown seems to be closing in on AMV, who's not actually been here the whole race. Yeah, listen, you're now called Jupiter, okay? as he's made the move past the AI, squeezed the AI out as well. But that doesn't matter, and he is up into 9th place for the time being. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Not sure who it is. As it looks like Reet is following Dark Knight into the pit lane. He will be looking to put on some new tyres with quite a lot of laps to go. He's had to have a wing change. His wing didn't look too bad. I know for a fact you can take the mediums from here to the end, but still, I don't really see the conventional side of that. As you can see from the stops, most people have done 2 or 3 stops. 4 stops currently for Dark Knight. And no stops though for AMV's AI. Which I find quite funny. Meanwhile, on the position change scale, the people who have gone up the most would be F1 Mansell and AMV's AI. And technically Dark Knight too. And the people who have gone down are basically anyone who's DNF'd. And that's the rundown. Oh dear. I like my little race rundowns. As Reet San Diablo is closing in on Padders, a man who was behind him until this pit stop. Both of them on new fresh tyres, trying to fight each other for position. And both of their tyres should go to the end. However, knowing what's been going on in this league, a lot of people lost their wings, so I'll give it 5 laps, see if they're still on them. Maybe 6 actually. But still, give them time, they'll probably crash. As High Five had to go into the pits yet again, and is now behind AMV's AI. Who I'm actually not going to go look at that overtake because it's an AI now. And I kind of didn't realise that the first 2 times, but, you know, it's an overtake, so it doesn't matter. As Reet is closing in, the gap is 7/10. It won't be enough for him to make an overtake on this straight, but he could do on the next one. Padders needs to be careful and defend wisely, just in case that happens. As Mercedes currently doing well in 5th place. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. That's probably for Dark Knight, considering that he's, you know, pit almost every other lap. But nope, Reet cannot get past. So Reet's just going to sit behind for the next half a lap or so, unless he can make a frantic move somewhere. Personally, I wouldn't recommend making any moves unless it's in the 2 DRS sections, but still. As AMV's AI... Oh, sorry. Yeah, AMVR's AI has finally got into the pits. And F1 Buttons is back, who's also got into the pits as Reet hits the wall. Ah, that's unfortunate. As F1 Buttons is back, comes out of the pit lane with AMV's AI. And he will be in 3rd position. Not too far behind Golub Sekro, who is also who will probably be going to the end on his hards, whereas F1 Buttons is back, will most likely be taking his mediums to the end. So this could be a very exciting race between the 2 of them. The Reet's just trying to close in on Padders here. He's not within a second mark, so he won't be getting DRS. It looks like Padders could be in the clear for this lap, unless he makes a mistake. You know, you do expect mistakes from drivers, but I think Padders has what it takes to at least fend off the next few laps. He's in that more powerful Merc, and the racing point behind him has hit a few walls on the last few laps, with High Five setting the fastest lap. Wow. Just wow. Pretty proud of him for that, as these 2 have actually caught up to F1 Mansell's back. So he's probably had a collision. Brown's probably just missed the first corner again. Oh, second corner, my apologies. A man like Stussy's left. Okay, my Stussy. And it's now a three-way battle for fourth place, isn't it? These three just trying to fight it out for this one position. One man on mediums, no, one man on hard, sorry. Two men on mediums. Looks like the man on hard is being pressured already by the Merc of Padders. Padders right on his rear wing. Surprisingly, there's no crashes as of yet, and we've got a blank viewpoint. We can see the three of them just charging up here. Padders has gone into the lead of the three. We can see Golub in the middle, trying to just Reet pushing through, and Reet somehow made it through first. F1 Mansell's been pushed completely off track, as now Padders, well, not only has to avoid counter steering, but has DRS, which he's not using. It's a bit weird. I mean, I would have used it myself, but guess he just didn't know he had it. But yeah, Padders is down into fifth. Well, up into fifth technically, but also down because Hero took Mansell, but then lost his position to Mansell. So yeah, I'm just a bit weird. It's a yellow flag in sector 2/3. I'm assuming that's Dark Knight. And yeah, it was Dark Knight. Brown is off into the pits again. His hard only lasted 10 laps, which is actually the most any tyres lasted. Apart from Trench's tyres, but still. And Golub seems to be 5 seconds now behind. Button's back. This is a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know who it is. I'm just going to pretend it's someone. It would look great to see who the yellow flags actually were, and Codemasters don't think like that, do they? As Dark Knight is now 2 laps behind, and he's probably on lap, I don't know, 13, 14? I don't know. Anyway, actually, I want to know the gap to the leader for everyone. So the gap to the leader for most people is quite a bit. Fourth is a whole minute behind, with second and third being within 31 seconds now. And anywhere from 9th downwards, well, 9th, 10th and 11th, are all a lap behind. And surprisingly, AMV's made a stop, and was that rain? I swear I can see. There's rain. There's rain. Oh dear lord, there's rain. As a commentator, you love to see it. There is rain at Baku. I told you it would come. None of you believed me. Well, I believe myself, but you know. Now everyone is completely screwed, and this race could be about to get ugly for quite a few racers. Wet conditions aren't the best, and from what I've seen from Dark Knight, he's not going to have a good time. Speaking of Dark Knight, our pit stops, 6. I mean, that's just the biggest meme. Dark Knight with 6 pit stops. Is there DRS? That is the question. Yes, there is. There's still DRS. Padders has it and is not using it. Do you not have a DRS button activated? And do these guys even know it's raining? Like, am I even in the same lobby as them? They seem to be driving just fine. I mean, I actually want to compare Padders' last lap to what he's been doing. And it wasn't even slower. This rain is just clearly not setting in yet. F1 Mansell's back, has chosen to go onto the Inters. High 5 is going to join him, which it looks like, on those tyres. And they'll be the first two to make the change. With DRS not being disabled though, and oh my gosh, F1 Mansell's back does not know where the pit lane exit line is. This is just actually peak times. And is that Trench? Yeah, that is Trench behind F1 Mansell's back. As High Five gets out of the pit lane, F1 Mansell's back has realised, one, he's realised that that's the leader, and two, he's realised that the Inters are not grippy enough yet. Or they're too grippy, in fact. As F1 Button's back has missed his braking zone. You do just love to see it at a wet Baku. Oh, so has it go up? At least Padders is gaining somewhere. No DRS being used whatsoever. Oh, this time he's going in the pits, and so is Reet San Diablo. He should be gaining some time here, actually. Which he does, almost going into the back of Reet. But he's into the first pit lane. In the Merc garage. And he's actually put on some softs. What? Not softs, sorry, mediums. Reed is allowed out just before him. And apparently Padders has some mediums on. I'm very confused. It's either hold mediums apparently. Dark Knight's also into the pits after lasting the longest amount of time on those mediums. 3 laps. And Trench is also coming into the pits, so everyone is getting ready for the wet session. Well, which is the next few laps, I guess. DRS is probably disabled already. I don't know if I was just too busy looking somewhere else to realise it. Ooh, as Padders almost misses his braking zone there as Reet brakes very early in comparison. And watching this battle is probably the best battle. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. It's Lightning Poker, who's on the mediums and is struggling like hell. Don't know who has made any of these crashes, as AMVR has come in from his hards. Oh, it's Dark Knight, of course. F1 Buttons is back. It's come out of the pits. DRS has finally been disabled. Padders has finally overtook Reet, which I missed, for goodness sake. But Padders is on the mediums. Reet's on the inters. Padders has to pit again. There is no choice. He has no choice. He cannot physically stay on these tyres. Like, he has to go into the pits. Which he's doing. I mean, I don't even know if he's going to be able to brake for the pit law. Oh, that was tight. But he's in. As Reet's also come in, as he's got wing damage, I'm pretty sure. Lightning Poker will have to come in, because he's still on mediums. And I'm still used to the old tyre name. And he's crashed into the pit lane. Dark Knight's out, which is just a big wow. And F1 Mansell's back, after possibly thinking his race was ruined, after being, you know, quite high up in the standings. Oh, never mind whatsoever. High five, bloody hell. Just comes out of nowhere. But anyway, I was going to say, after thinking his race was ruined, he's trying to come back into this, but nope. The person who has thought his race was ruined, though, it's been High Five. You look at the amount of stops he's done. He's done 5 stops. High 5 stops, man. And so it's Padders, in all fairness, but, you know. Still. As F1 Mansell is back, has retired from the session, we see the yellow flags here. I want to know what he's done. He's binned it into the wall. He's binned it into the wall. That's all I can say. Just wow. Wow. You know what? I don't even want to talk to the podium guys. I want to talk to High Five, man. I honestly just want to talk to him. It's like I'm not even. I don't even think we're 75. Oh no, we are 75% through this race. Probably like 80% though. We're not that far yet, but still. I mean, just wow. The thing, High Five's done 5 stops. He went basically from top of the. Oh my gosh, how'd you do that? From near the top now to near the bottom. Well, to near the bottom, or basically at the bottom, and has risen back up. I mean, yeah, he's 4th last in the running cars, but still, there have been 7 other cars that have all retired because of their own fault, except Jupiter's, because he just, yeah, he got killed by a Ferrari. This Ferrari. I kind of feel bad. I really do. And you have to say, some of these drivers have done awfully well, and you know you can't shake it from them. You know, you have to respect Golub and Trench, who have both only done 2 stops in this race. And also, well, actually no, that's an AI, so ignore them. But most people have only done 2 or 3 stops, and then there's just the exceptions of a few. As our Lightning Poker seems to be in the pits, obviously for a wing change. And that lets Brown up into 7th. That's all good news. With 5 laps remaining, the only real battle we could have is High Five versus Reet Sad Diablo. I'll just compare penalties between the 2 of them now. But Reet looks squeaky clean. However, High Five does have 1 penalty so far from this race, so he'll need to gain quite a bit on Reet as Golub is into the pits. Must have had a crash at some point. It's a brand new wing for him, which will mean Padders is most likely going to make his way in front of him. As you can see, Golub exiting the pits there. Padders down here. No, Padders won't make the move on him, but he will be ever so much closer. As you can see, Golub just exiting the 2nd corner there. As a High Five seems to be closing in just a tad on Reet, but I don't think it's enough. I really don't. And I think when Reet is using up a lot of ERS as Lightning Poker is trashed in the castle section. This is just comedy gold now. I don't want to roast these drivers because everyone's doing an exceptional job, but still it's kind of funny to see half the crashes. As High Five goes a little bit wide there. But you can't High Five another penalty. That should mean that Reet's got 5th place in the bag. Actually, I think Padders has some penalties too, if I'm not mistaken. No, was it? Oh no, it was. No, I guess not. So I'd say Reet could have a possibility of getting 4th place, but it doesn't look like that. As is that's Reet slowing down there. I mean, he's not looking too quick here, as High Five is, well, within 1.7 seconds, now 1.6. And you know, the time is just falling down very, very quickly. Lightning Poker back into the pits. An unfortunate 5-second penalty for speeding, but still. But High Five's very, very close to the back of Reet. Sad Diablo. And obviously there's no DRS, but still. There could be a very good chance of an overtake with only a few laps left. And he's gaining out so much. He's put himself into overtake. Reet has barely any ERS left. Nope, Reet's gone into the pits. Padder's also into the pits though. Reet passes him, which doesn't hold Padders up too much. And High Five is up into 4th. And you know, having a 5 stopper coming 4th is amazing. Having a 6 stopper and coming 5th is bloody fantastic. By the way, it looks like there's not going to be many battles from now on. Everyone's kind of in their own little race. So why don't we watch the leader for a while. Trench has led this race more or less from start to finish ever since F1 Buttons is back. Well, Buttons back. You know, pit for the first time. He's basically led the race by example. As speaking about F1 Buttons back, he's gone into the pits. I believe this is for a wing change. Golub won't have a chance to catch up to him though. Which is unfortunate that a wing change for Buttons is back is more than worth it. However, we also have to say congrats to the man who set fastest lap of the race. I went to the wrong bit. So congrats to F1 Buttons is back. He has the fastest lap point. I'm actually not sure if it's the first lap point, but still. If they do, well done. If they don't, then well done, you still got fastest lap. As I don't believe this rain will dry up quick enough for anyone to really get anything out of that, but still. Well done. And most people have actually been lapped by now. Interesting. I think High Five is actually the next one to be lapped. As Trench enters lap 24 out of 26. With F1 Buttons is back being a whole minute and 10 seconds behind. Trench could pit, I don't know, every lap from now onwards and still probably win. It just shows you a cool, calm, collected victory. But you can't rule out the possibilities of Reet or Padders making mistakes, or even Trench himself making some mistakes and, you know, really shaking out the grid. Like to see a safety car run. That could happen. I mean, actually, no. Even if it does, it basically ruins the race for anyone with penalties. Because everyone gets bunched up, so you don't want that. And you don't want a virtual safety car, because then you're going about, I don't know, 3-minute lap, 2-minute and 40-second lap times, so really what we want is the rain just to go away. Or someone to amazingly crash, and yeah. And again, this race, it just seems a bit easy for these guys. Not really worrying too much about what comes next. If anyone crashes again, you know, someone will gain some extra points. Unless Poker crashes. But still. Reet seems to be closing in. Actually, no, seems to be getting further away from Padders. And I don't know where High Five. No, High Five is not being closed down that much by Trench. He just seems to be setting solid 1-minute 55s from now on. 50, it's actually 56s, but no, 155. As Padders is in the pits again, so Reet's about to overtake him. This poses the question, can Brown overtake him? Obviously, I don't know what penalty he will get from the stewards of the league, but for what happened with Jupiter. But it looks like Padders could be overtaken here. So you can see Padders is at the end of the pit lane. Brown is here. Brown's made his way past Padders. Padders has got to close back in on Brown in front of him. And you know, I laughed at the fact that the Dark Knight had 7 stops. Padders has also had 7 stops. That's almost a stop every 4 laps. That is just less than that. Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Also, Reet seems to have crashed as well, as he's now a second in front of Brown and Padders, which will make these last 2 laps interesting. Probably. Possibly. I don't know. And it does mean that technically Brown can get up to third, sorry. Fifth. Idiot. And so can Padders, but it also means that Reet can go down as low as 7th. With near misses like that, he should be worried about that. Meanwhile, speaking out the front, guys, here's Trench coming to go across the start-finish line for the last time until he could be crowned winner of this race. We're just on board with Brown. Not really getting any closer to Reet. Just keeping his distance. As there's a yellow flag in Sector 3, I'm not sure who that is. I'm just going to stroll through everyone until we get someone. And I don't think there was anyone who crashed really, but you never know. As we can just see, F1 Buttons is back trying to come and lap AMV for the 50th time. Lightning Poker's AI is being lapped by High Five. And he's just, yeah, he gave up on his race, clearly. But Brown's still not giving up on Reet. And there is still a chance that he could get there and make the overtake. As the flying in Sector 1 and Padders is out. Padders is out. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go view our current leader, Trench. Oh, it was on the wrong person. Oops. Never mind. But anyway, our leader, Trench, is behind Lightning Poker, which means Lightning Poker's technically AI will overtake Padders, which puts Padders down into 9th. AMV's AI also basically won this race for him, but still, Padders will be the last man out of this race until the last lap. Trench comes home to win it, and we're not going to bother looking at who comes second because that will take us about a minute. So we're going to wait about a minute for that. But what we will see is Reet Sa Diablo come home to put himself in 5th position in his Force India. Brown will come home to finish 6th. And I actually think next will probably be F1 Buttons is back, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it will be F1 Buttons is back. And most people should be able to finish their laps. But F1 Buttons is back, comes home to collect a good 2nd place. Rightly deserved as well. He had a very good race, and you know, you really can't say anything apart from that. Yes, he made 4 stops, but he still came at 2nd, and that is honestly brilliant for him. As AMV also crossed the line for 7th. Unfortunately, it's his AI though. Meanwhile, Golub will come home and collect his 3rd position, putting him in 3rd. Obviously, well, the bronze medal for this race. High Five will be the next man to come across the line. And speaking of that, of High Five, I want to give him my driver of the day because of what an up and down race he's had and how he's come back from nothing. So I want to say well done to him, and well done to the rest of the driver to actually finish the race. And well done to those who even didn't. You know, well done to everyone. But here we have our winner of the race, Trench, followed by Buttons Back, and then followed by Golub. Well done, you three. You are our 3 winners here at Azerbaijan. And now, whilst I say that, I'm actually just going to invite... a few of our winners, a few people from the league at least, to talk to me about what's happened and to tell me how they feel about this race. Because, you know, I like getting not just podium interviews, but interviews from most drivers. But here we have our final results, with F1 Buttons is back, getting the fastest lap of the race, possibly giving him that extra point. So I've actually invited High Five, Trench, and I think I also invited F1 Buttons is back. I think. If not, I'll just do that now. But either way, you know, we just want some podium interviews, that's literally it. I mean, just wow. To some of these incidents, wow. Oh, Decal's actually stayed in the race. I'm pretty surprised about that. But yeah, we are just waiting for some podium interviews. I'll go and put in the chat, see if anyone wants one. Just ask, see if anyone wants one. High Five has no mic, unfortunately, so he's said this in the chat, that he has no mic. It was a pit stop show for him, then he drove a lot better than when it rained. Hi, Trench. Hi. Just tell me when you have things on. Oh well, tell me when you have. So, we can give you something to say. Okay. Okay, well, you had a solid race, obviously, coming first, starting second. Wait, was the rain expected for the end of the race? Were you expecting such a big gap between you and second place? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And you're actually the only, I think, one or two people to be able to manage that two-stop well. So, big congrats to you for that. And obviously, yeah. Well, apart from that, was there anything else that you really thought about this race that stood out to you? Like... Okay, Trent, apparently you don't have any audio on. No. Hold on. Let me just check my settings. Yep, my settings say that you're allowed audio. Oh, for goodness sake. We're having technical difficulties. This is weird then. Well, if it's... Okay, well, for those of you who didn't hear, Trench just said that, one, he wasn't expecting the big gap between him and second place Buttons back. He had wing damage, which kind of ruined him a bit. He also was surprised at the amount of people who retired. So, if you couldn't hear him, that's what he said. Yeah. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. I'll be here next week. What is the track next week? I have the calendar here, but it's effort. I've got it here. It's Mexico. Yep, it's Mexico. Yeah. So, we will see you back for Mexico. If you're new around here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the weekly videos, the weekly streams. And I think we're actually going to get highlights from Trench. I'm not sure if you... Yeah, so stick around for those. I've been your host. Check out my channel, Hyperwarskun. I'll see you next time. Peace.